And for those of you who are fortunate enough to not know me, I'm Paul. This is Larry. That's Ken. And Judy's here somewhere.
She's getting her top.
Judy's getting her
top.
Okay, and we're Sid's kids. And
It's Kenny.
I want to just, I'm looking back on the last couple of days, 3 days or so, and we've been to about 3 different venues where they've honored my father and celebrated his birthday. And he's always been very thankful for that. He's thanked people and shown a lot of gratitude. But at the end of each one of these celebrations, he always said the same thing. He said, you know, this is really nice, and he was very grateful and said, thank you so much, but I don't understand all the fuss. All I am is still here. I didn't do anything. And that's not quite true, Dad. It's a lot more than that. Now, I'm not going to go into some long-winded history of everything you've done. I'm going to leave it to these guys, okay? And they'll speak to that in their own special way. But what I would like to do is just quickly point out some of the things this guy is still doing at 100 years young. And I think when I go down this, and yes, I have a list, because I can't remember them all, frankly, of things he's still doing at 100, I think you'll see why one of the expressions, or perhaps far and away, the expression I hear people use when referring to my dad all the time is how, quote, amazing, unquote, he is. That's the word that pops up all the time. This is just a short list of what this guy's doing still. First of all, he puts in a full day, one way or another. He's up by 8 or so. I had to say or so because, you know. He goes to the Rossmore gym over here and works out twice a week. And on days he's not going over to the Rossmore gym to work out, he goes downstairs where he lives at the Waterford and participates in a 30-minute exercise course. He's a volunteer for the Rossmore Recreation Group, that's what I should call it, Dad? Rossmore Recreation, where he acts as a greeter, which I think draws on his sunny disposition, and I mean that. He's a participating member of the Rossmore Rotary Club, where just this past Wednesday they gave him the Paul Harris Fellowship Award, which is a really big deal for his service and contributions to that organization. He's still reading at least a couple books a month, and I am going to point out that these are not lightweight books. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the titles and everything, but we're talking about books by Hillary Clinton, books about the Supreme Court, I think that was called The Nines, books about the Afghan and Iraqi war. I mean, I'm not reading those things, and I'm pretty impressed. He's an active member of the Rossmore Jewish congregation, okay, and also a participating member of the Yiddish discussion group. He plays bridge every Tuesday night, and just I think a couple nights ago when somebody mentioned they were coming here.
I'm one of those people that he plays with, and I'll tell you, he's as sharp as anybody there. And we had birthday cake and champagne for him last Tuesday.
That's one of the venues I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And Susan got a remark from somebody that just, she summed it up like this: that man can play. So apparently he's not lightweight at that either. And a couple other things I want to mention. He still listens and loves to classical music, lots of it, and he likes it so much he really amps it up quite a bit, so I'm really hoping your neighbors like classical music as well as you do. And he goes to the theater, he goes to places like Davies Hall, Berkeley Rep, and the Lesher Center. I have to laugh. I just noticed I spelled Letcher Center. I don't go to a Letcher Center, do you? I wrote down Letcher. Okay, it is definitely the Lesher Center that I know of anyway. Okay, so these are just some of the things he's doing. I could go on and on, but these other guys aren't going to let me. I can feel the hook already around my neck. But then I wanted to just close by jumping right into, I mean, those are things he does, and that's great, but how do people feel about him? I was thinking about how do I want to express this, and Susan and I both noticed that the responses to the invitations for this party were, to us at least, mostly by voicemail, because that's how we ask people to respond. And so they typically left messages. And Susan took the time to transcribe some of these messages, read them down for me, because I asked her to, so I could tell you what you guys really think about it. That's what I want you to hear. I think you know how we feel, and I'll tell you that in a minute.